The taxpayer-backed Baltimore Children and Youth Fund nonprofit pays its president a salary of $219,000 a year, a notable increase from recent years that some experts say raises questions about best practices for nonprofits. Patrick Hoff from our Spotlight on Maryland team has the latest in his investigation.
BCYF receives $16 million taxpayer dollars from Baltimore City this year that is guaranteed annually to support programs for kids. Spotlight on Maryland obtained documentation of BCYF's salaries as of October in a public information request that shows of its 23 employees, only 3 make less than the median household income in Baltimore City of roughly $60,000. The average salary at the organization is about $90,000. 6 employees, which is about 1 in 4 members of the staff, make at least $100,000. BCYF's salaries total $2.67 million, which accumulates for about 16% of its Baltimore City taxpayer budget for this fiscal year. BCYF President Alicia Lee makes $219,000, which meant she had a raise of between 18 to 27% since 2023, depending on what data you consider.
Absent that kind of growth, a pretty substantial growth in the organization, no, I would say that a 27% increase in someone's salary in such a short period of time does not appear to be best practices.
That's Erica Harris, a professor at Florida International University who specializes in nonprofit accounting. She said nonprofit executives tend to be underpaid compared to similar work in for-profit fields.
And they want to see more of the dollars going out to fulfill the mission of the organization. So, no, I would say that my research finds just the opposite. That we see that these executive directors and many nonprofit employees in general are on the margin receiving lower pay than their for-profit counterparts.
A BCYF spokesman told Spotlight on Maryland that its board sets salaries, which are capped at a 5% increase each year based on performance. The spokesman claimed Lee's salary increased 18% since 2022 when she made $185,000. However, BCYF's tax form from fiscal year 2023 shows Lee made $172,000. The BCYF spokesman said there is a discrepancy because Lee was hired in mid-January of that fiscal year. BCYF spokesman cited a nonprofit compensation report from Career Blazers that noted salaries for nonprofit presidents of BCYF size ranged from $255,000 to $264,000. However, while most nonprofits rely on fundraising efforts, BCYF is guaranteed its funding each year from Baltimore City taxpayer dollars.
It can be really demoralizing for staff to see a leader's compensation soar while their own compensation remains stagnant.
That's Lori Styron, the president of Charity Watch, which studies best practices for nonprofits. She said taxpayer-backed nonprofits like BCYF should have a higher standard for appropriate levels of executive pay.
But when you're a nonprofit that relies primarily on taxpayer dollars, those taxpayers are sort of willingly or unwillingly supporting you. And you really have a duty to your community to make sure, as a board of directors, to make sure that you're following all of the best practices.
Styron and Harris expressed concern about BCYF's compensation process according to its tax form, which checks no under a section that asked if it included a review and approval by independent persons, comparability data, and contemporaneous substantiation of the deliberation and decision.
With following best practices, we expect to see yes checked to that box every time. When it's not, the public should be wary of, is this person being paid appropriately or not?
Those check boxes are the best practices, how you set your executive pay.
BCYF spokesman said more than 50% of BCYF staff is based in Maryland, but did not respond to a question about exactly how many employees work out of state. It's worth noting that BCYF is currently facing political pressure from the Baltimore City Council, which proposed a new bill that would update regulations of the fund, including increased financial reporting from its grantees. Meanwhile, the Baltimore City Inspector General is expected to release a second report on BCYF in the new year. The first report found a lack of oversight from city officials over the fund. We'll keep a close eye on these developments. For Spotlight on Maryland, I'm Patrick Huff.
I'm Mary Bubala. Thank you for watching. Here's another video for you to watch. Also take some time to subscribe to our YouTube channel.